Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good, good, good. So my name is James Zabrowski. I'm the Managing Director of the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization. CEO is a network of about 5,000 students and about 250 chapters across the United States. And today, for the first time ever, we are live streaming this presentation and everything in this room to all of our chapters across the nation. So this is a pretty exciting evening for us, and we have an excellent speaker. I don't want to take up too much time, but I do want to kind of announce and tease us for these upcoming events. Most importantly, this event is co-hosted not only with the University of Tampa, but with Future Founders and Self-Employment in the Arts. Those are two other organizations that are very involved in collegiate level entrepreneurship, and it's a really nice parlay. Each month, we each host the program, and this is our program out of the Loth Entrepreneurship Center at the University of Tampa. So I want to welcome all of our members across the nation who are currently viewing this session, and you can live tweet and interact with the speaker today. Any questions that you may have, feel free to tweet them at CEO.org, CEO.org, or hashtag CEO Live. We will be answering any questions during that time. We'll also take questions from the audience. In addition to that, I want to introduce our Executive Director, Giles Hertz. Giles is going to give a brief update on the state of the organization, and then I'll come back on to introduce Tom. Giles.
Thank you, James. Good evening, everyone, and I'd like to join James and welcome you to the Create Your Own Path webinar series. I'm excited to be here. I know you didn't come to and tune in to listen to me, so I want to make really brief remarks and give you a quick update on what's going on in CEO. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about some central office activities. We're really excited about the fact that we've placed our new board of directors. CEO is a corporation, and nonprofit corporations are required to have boards of directors. And so I just wanted to update you and let you know who our new board of directors is. Pretty exciting list, and we're expecting a lot of assistance from these folks and to make CEO an even better organization than it already is. So our current board of directors represents Dr. Jeffrey Hornsby, the director of the Regnier Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Dr. Alex DeNoble, the executive director of the Lavin Entrepreneurship Center at San Diego State University. Dr. Thomas Lumpkin from the University of Oklahoma. Ms. Becky Gann from the Director of Business Development from AACSB International, that's our College of Business Accrediting Institutions. Professor Kimball Bird from Rowan University. And finally, Dr. Rebecca White, the Director of the John P. Loth Entrepreneurship Center here at the University of Tampa. And certainly, last but not least, Dr. Jerry Hills, the founder of CEO, and Jerry will remain on the board as well. Programmatically, I just wanted to give you a quick update on some of the results of the 2016 National Conference that was held in October. Our preliminary data indicates that we had just short of 800 paid registrants from all 50 states and 3 countries, up from 634 in the 2015 conference. 80 colleges and universities were represented at this year's conference. 42 CEO chapter presidents attended, with a total of 68 total speakers. And we had a tremendous social media impact as well, and so thanks for your posts and tweets, and please keep that up and spread the word about CEO in your communities and around the United States and around the world. And the last thing I wanted to mention is we've selected our dates for the 2017 National Conference. It's going to be held October 26th, 27th, and 28th here in Tampa, Florida. So we hope you'll join us October 26th through 28th, 2017 CEO National Conference. James?
All right, so Tom actually joined us for our national conference, which was a highly attended event, and I know that Tom really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give you a very brief bio of our speaker today. Tom Bell is the co-founder of ViralStyle.com. He has personally generated over $5 million in revenue through selling physical products online. Since launching Viral Style in 2014, the company has generated $70 million in sales. Viral Style is a Tampa-based startup, so I'm sure Tom has a lot of in and outs as to how Tampa responds as an entrepreneurial ecosystem, and he also has a wonderful experience in Facebook, social media advertising, and a really awesome story. So please join me in welcoming Tom Bell.
How's it going, everybody? You everybody hear me good in here? At home, everything? Thanks a lot. James Giles, CEO organization. I did have fun at that event. It's pretty big, actually. Wasn't expecting it to be there. I thought it was actually going to be here when you guys told me about it originally. And I walked into that room. There's like 800 people there. It's pretty cool. So my name's Thomas Bell, co-founder of Viral Style. We're based here in Tampa, as he said. Founded in 2014. Who am I? Why are you listening to me? As he said, our company's done $70 million in revenue since we founded the company. I've personally done over $5 million in revenue on Facebook through selling physical products online. I was one of the people that kind of pioneered social commerce, was what we call it, or print-on-demand businesses. And our company has thousands of entrepreneurs across the world that use our site to make a living. So what are we going to talk about today? Talk a little bit about my story in general. I wanted to do a little bit of a kind of an overview of everything. It's going to be really hard to cram in exactly what viral style is, how you make a lot of money, how people on my site are making a lot of money. I want to do a little bit about Facebook marketing. What about t-shirts? We're going to talk about scalability, and we're going to talk about catching viral trends, which is something that I still do to this day to make a lot of money in a little bit of time. So teach you what we do, how people are making money, how you guys can make some money too. So about me. My entrepreneur journey, I guess, started very early. I was 20 years old, found out I was going to be a father pretty unexpectedly. I basically had a now or never moment where I had a job and didn't want to work for anybody else ever again, and had to make that decision that that's what I wanted to do. It was a now or never moment for me. So I got into real estate. I flipped my first deal when I was 21 years old. It took me 6 to 8 months of not getting paid, and essentially had everybody against me. Even my family, like, get a fucking job, dude. You got bills to pay. You got a 9-month window to figure your shit out. Okay. Mason was born. I still hadn't done a deal. I still stuck with it. Ended up getting that first deal. I remember it was only like a couple $1,000s, but it kind of set me up for the rest of my life to realize, like, I can do pretty much anything I want if I try. Since then, I did pretty well in real estate. I was the young guy. A lot of people knew me. I was good at networking, but it never gave me enough money where I felt like I was comfortable. So I always tried to find another business that I was a little bit more passionate about. I would be better at. I would have better, cash flow. With real estate, you have good months, you have bad months, and stuff like that. So during that time, I actually started 4 companies, and one of them was the predecessor to Viral Style. I'll talk about that in a minute. So I always made good money, good money to me, but I won't, we're all here to get rich, so that wasn't enough. So everything was going fine, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, and then the bottom fell out for me. And I hear this story a lot with a lot of entrepreneurs, people that, were successful at one point. Eventually something bad happens and everything falls apart. That's what happened to me in January 2014 when I was starting all these companies. One of the companies that I started with a friend, and it was a bad business deal. I sunk a lot of money into it. Didn't have anything in writing because he was my friend, right? Always get something in writing. That's just a little lesson for you guys. No contract, you got no legal recourse. You're gonna lose that friend. You guys are gonna wanna fight, and you got nothing to do. Nothing you can do about it. So at that time, I just started dating Leslie here probably a month or 2 earlier. It was humiliating. I had to move in with her dad. Okay? Imagine that. 26 years old. I got a 4-year-old son. I got to move in with my new girlfriend's dad. Okay? Super humiliating. Oh, and at the same time, I was fighting with my son's mother. So I hadn't seen my son in 2 months. So if there was ever rock bottom, this is what it felt like for me. Everything that I owned at the time actually fit in this little Walmart dresser. Okay, I mean, this probably cost me like $20. All my stuff had been stolen. I mean, it was bad. I was in a real bad spot. Leslie coined the term a duffel bag and a dream, what I had at the time, which I had systems in place already, so I knew it was going to be a temporary thing, but at the time, it didn't feel like it because I was down the dumps. I was broke. I had a couple of good friends left that kind of supported me and stuff like that. But for the most part, this is as bad as it gets. I also still own this dresser. It's just filled with my son's toys. So why t-shirts? Who of you has an idea for a t-shirt or has in the past? Anybody? I did at one point. remember going to Ultra Music Festival, and in 2011, 2012, when EDM trend was starting to really pick up, and I went there and I was blown away. There's so many people there. It's like everybody's trying to outdo each other with these crazy neon T-shirts, and I was like, man, somebody's selling these people these T-shirts. It's just the kind of the mindset I've always had is there's a way to make money in everything. So I had this idea for T-shirts. Me and a friend kind of bounced some ideas back and forth with some funny phrases. These are literally, I just went and found these today. Some of the first 4 that we did. And they actually sold really well. I mean, they were pretty funny. The keg stand one went really well. We went to, we would sponsor parties and things like that. But there was a problem with our business model. So the problem was we had to buy everything up front. So we had to find a trustworthy supplier to buy everything, all the blanks up front. So at the time we had an American Apparel deal or something like that. I forget what it was, but you had to find. There's a lot of guesswork. What styles did you want to buy? How many? What sizes are people going to wear? What colors? I mean, there's thousands of SKUs. You can't just imagine that. We didn't know any of that stuff. So we would buy the stuff up front, a couple $1,000s. Then you had to find a printer to print your designs on. And these are just concepts at the time too. So now we're stuck with all this inventory. We've got to figure out a way to sell it. Okay, we've got to market the products. And then once we start selling the products, then we have to do customer service if something goes wrong, things like that. These are all questions that we didn't ask ourselves before we got started. And it ended up costing us a lot of money. We were out thousands of dollars and we had no guarantee of success. Okay? So the problems that we had to solve at the time, and this is actually, fast forward a couple of years, after the Ready to Rage is what the company was called. We sold a bunch of shirts. We were doing concerts and stuff like that, and we were, having booths and selling out our shirts and stuff, but they're just a cash flow problem. So I ended up going back into real estate for a couple years, and then fast forward a couple years, I've figured out a way to fix my own problems. So the problems were I needed a way to test the designs for free. Okay, I didn't need to buy all the inventory up front. I didn't need to, put all this money out on the street for no reason. I wanted to buy the inventory when I needed it, but still get the price breaks that you get with buying bulk inventory. So if you buy 100 or 200,000 at a time, the price of the product goes down per product. So we still needed to be able to get those price breaks, but we didn't need the products until they were already sold. We also needed enough margin where we could spend money to acquire customers. So we needed to be able to market the products, but also have enough margin in there so if we acquired a customer for a certain dollar amount, we still had money left over. And we also, if we were going to do that, we needed to make sure that our sales pages that we were selling on were very high converting and our checkout flow was pretty much flawless. So those were the problems that we had to solve. And the solution that we came up with was to create what we called a Kickstarter for T-shirts at the time. When we first started the company, that's the way we explained it. It's probably one of the easier ways to explain it. People understand crowdfunding. Crowdfunding was a big name, or like a big word a couple years ago when all the Kickstarter was one of them. We wanted to make a way we could just upload the designs and set a length of time to sell the product. So what we call campaigns is the length of time that you sell the product. So it could be 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, or whatever. All of the products that are sold within that time are all pre-orders. So within the allotted time, so let's say you have a 7-day campaign, we're marketing the products on Facebook. We're using the targeting that we do to acquire the customers for a certain dollar amount. All the products that we're selling during that time are all pre-orders. And obviously, the more that we sell during that period of time, we know that the profit margin goes up. So we were trying to, if you have a base cost on your product, and as long as you're keeping the margins there, you can spend more money as you sell more. So we would collect the pre-orders, and then at the end of the campaign, we'd batch out the orders all at once. It would remove the need for, trying to guess anything, because we know exactly what people bought. We could batch out the order all at once. The printer would, we would send the order to our supplier. Our supplier would go directly to one of our printing vendors, and then the vendors would print and ship the products. We'd never see them. And that's what we came up with, and that's how we founded Viral Style. we realized that there was a lot of people that probably wanted to have the same options that we did. We know that there was people that had entrepreneurial mindsets like we did that would figure out the Facebook marketing side of things like we did, and we were right. So ViralStyle is a print-on-demand platform, and all we've done is we've simplified the process of inventory, printing, fulfillment, and customer service. Our mantra is be creative and we'll handle the rest, okay? So why t-shirts? I feel like they are one of the easiest ways to take place in the global market, just because of everybody's wearing them. I mean, you guys are all wearing t-shirts now. I mean, people like to express themselves, and you have little to no risk involved with it too. So, using our site's free. You have very small tests on Facebook, $5, $10. If they don't work, you can move on to the next one. It doesn't really break the bank. And with Facebook, obviously, you can target anyone in the world. So they're a great entry-level product, $20. People are willing to spend $20 all day on anything. I mean, if something that you like and it's an impulse buy, they'll pull out their wallets and they'll purchase it as long as they're targeted correctly. And the margin's around $10 on a t-shirt. Obviously, if you're selling a hoodie or something like that, it's a higher margin. But on a $10 profit, you can spend money to make money. So obviously, they're not going anywhere. Like I said, you guys are all wearing t-shirts, or some of you are wearing nice dress shirts. But in general, people wear t-shirts. You see the t-shirt stores on the beach. You see them in the mall. I mean, people buy t-shirts. And it's a really easy way to build niche buyers lists. So what I mean by that is a niche is like grandparents or firefighters or a specific target audience that you're going after. A lot of the guys that use our site are targeting specific groups of people for all of their shirts. There's a lot of people that do wide range of niches, but it's a really good way to build a buyer's list. So if you start to really make money selling the t-shirts, maybe you want to move on to other products, build your own store around those niches, and then make more money. So t-shirts are a great entry-level product. You can sell anywhere in the world with ViralStyle, and everybody's wearing them. So, and you're also going to learn to master advertising, and this is something that I think that every one of you guys should do. If you're ever planning on running a business in any shape or form, you have to figure out Facebook advertising, Google advertising. That's going to make or break you. I promise you. If you learn to master advertising, you can pretty much do anything. So let's talk about Facebook marketing. And this is something that I added today because I usually speak to conferences with internet marketers, the people that are already kind of into the industry a little bit. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what's capable on the Facebook ads platform. So I was just messing around today. But in general, Facebook knows everything about you. I know all you guys use Facebook, all Instagram, whatever you like, whatever you share, whatever you message your friends. Facebook puts you in a category for everything that you do. And you can actually look up what they have you targeted on. I don't have that in here, but essentially every ad that you're shown, there's a reason for it. They have 2 billion active users right now. That's insane. All those people can be your customers. You just got to figure out a way to target them. Put right in the news feed, the right-hand side ads. I mean, Instagram now has ads too. And you can use this for anything you do in the future, like I said. If you master advertising, it doesn't have to be t-shirts. I mean, you can literally, for any business, there's a way to target people. If you're a restaurant, you want to target people in your area and tell them there's a Taco Tuesday, or McDenton's is having dollar drinks or something like that. I know you guys know about that. So here's an example that I did today, and I was actually having fun with this. So let's say you're targeting people who like cats, okay? So this is a screenshot of the Facebook ads manager with just a simple targeting of people who have the interest in cats. So what that means is people that liked a cat page, have said cat to their friend in a messenger, who have liked a cat picture. Facebook has put you into that category of cats. Who likes cats? A few people like cats. Okay. Well, there's 31 million people in the U.S. that like cats, says Facebook. Okay. So they're in the U.S. This is what we call a very broad interest. Okay. So you're not really going to use this for selling T-shirts or anything like that. Let's say if you're like a huge cat brand or something, you just want to target everybody that's ever talked about a cat ever, that's more of an interest there. Let's dive a little bit deeper. So people who like cats that are actually cat owners, okay? So now what we've done is we've taken the cat broad interest and we've narrowed the audience to people who like cats, who actually own cats. And there's 2.3 million people on that. So we went from over 30 million to now to 2.3 million. So we're narrowing that audience down a little bit to kind of figure out who's really passionate about cats. So I took it a step further. I Googled some cat magazines. And I also narrowed it down to women. So women who like cats that actually own cats, and they read cat magazines or blogs. So I found like 4 or 5 cat magazines and blogs in there. So there's about 160,000 crazy cat ladies in the US, is basically what we're coming up with here. So as you can see, the more specific you get, the less people it is, the more targeted it is, the more passionate the people are about whatever it is that you're trying to sell. So what would you sell these people? I love cat apparel. This specific design, I found it today, and it was a pretty interesting thing to find. This little silhouette with all these little kitty cats and stuff on it, made out of a cat. It's cats inside of cats here. Sold 1,800 products of this one design. That's $30,000 in profit. Now, I don't know if that's the exact type of targeting they did, but as you can see, all you have to do is find a specific niche of people and create a product specifically for them and then advertise it directly on their newsfeed in Facebook. And if it's something they like, you're going to make some money. So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to show you guys that, just like kind of an overview of how to narrow down your audiences on Facebook. And I just wanted to play around and get a little weird with it. So I decided to go with grandmas. So you can target grandparents, but then you change it to women. So it's only grandmas who like knitting, who also like the Green Bay Packers. Okay? That's pretty specific. There's about 170,000 people, 170,000 grandmas in the U.S. that like the Green Bay Packers who also have an interest in knitting. Now, I don't know if you'd sell them a T-shirt, but I was just trying to show you like how random it could be, how specific you can get with this targeting interest. So you can narrow it down as much as you like. So can you guys see how powerful this could be for your business? And I don't know if you guys are you guys starting businesses? Is this, you guys all, anybody kind of started a business already? What are you doing? Selling Santa hats. Well, I mean, are you using Facebook advertising yet? Not at the moment. Okay, well, we'll talk. I mean, let me know. It's definitely really easy, and that's kind of a big market right now. I can tell you right now, some of the biggest things that are selling on our site are ugly Christmas sweaters. And I'm sure you guys have seen those designs before, like the fake knit designs, but they're just prints, and you can just kind of put anything in there. It's all Christmas themed. So yeah. Are they custom? Yeah. Okay. Okay, I like that. I like that. I've seen a lot of stuff similar to that, not on Christmas hats, but something similar. But so this is this was actually coined by one of our sellers. He's one of the teachers, and our academy is our Viral Style Academy. It teaches you guys how to create and sell custom products and sell them on Facebook. But he created the T-shirt success matrix, and basically what this shows is the 3 specific things that you need to be successful with selling on Viral Style. And if you have a really highly passionate niche, you have your targeting down on Facebook, and you have a good design that evokes emotion, you're typically going to get sales. You can get sales without one of them, but you won't get as many. So this is a little off topic. I had this still in here from a previous presentation, but it's super important for you guys to find a mentor. Now, there's plenty of ways to do this. I mean, you guys are in this organization, so I'm sure you guys can find one, but am I skipping one here? Okay, and there we go. A mentor is a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. So what I mean by that is you need somebody to bounce ideas off of. So somebody that's either done it already or a friend that's got the same mindset. I mean, it doesn't have to be, a super rich person or like a specific. You want to get in your industry or somebody that has experience with something you're doing. You need some ideas to bounce off of them. And there's ways to get mentors without paying them. This is a little bit more focused on internet marketing because there's kind of a trend with mentorship programs that cost thousands of dollars. You don't need that. Obviously, if you ask the right questions to the right people, very specific questions, you'll get answers pretty easily. As long as you're out there trying and working towards something, I think people understand that they were there at one point and they're willing to help you. So no one's going to teach you how to do it from step one to fruition. So if you're just like, hey, I want to make money online, they'll be like, cool. And they're like, all right, how do I set up a Facebook ad? They're like, I'm not, nobody's going to, anybody that's successful is not going to just sit there and teach you how to do it. You got to be out there failing and then say, hey, this is what I have up. Can you take a look at it? I thought I was doing well. This click-through rate's not that great. What am I doing wrong here? As long as you're asking questions, you're going to get answers. And there's plenty of groups out there, on Facebook, even our sellers group. If you're out there asking questions, most of the people are willing to help. And there's also no one right way to do things. So I know there's always a trend in even courses or whatever that are like, this new simple trick got me this much more money and blah blah blah. There's no one right way to do things. Facebook marketing is pretty standard across the board as long as you understand the basics of it. Maybe adding little tricks to it are good, but there's no one right way to do things. So let's talk about scalability. Now, when I say scalability, a lot of people think of graphs going up or scaling money up or stuff like that. What I'm talking about is scaling designs. So the way that people are making a lot of money that I see are the people that can create scalable designs. So you have to think about ways to take the same design and change it for other niches. So whether it's just one word or one phrase or whatever it is, and you change one thing, create a template, and bang out like 30 or 40 designs at one time. This is how we did it when we were selling a lot of t-shirts at the beginning. Actually, Brandon back there, he just walked in as my business partner. He was the one that would create the design templates, send it over to us. We would change out one word, and we just throw up as many campaigns, as many ads as we could, and then test everything you could. So things that really are evoking emotion, things that make people laugh when they see them. People will be proud to wear, or sexual innuendos go a long way. I don't know what it is, but they always sell. So as long as you're evoking emotion, you have something that is a phrase that you can change one word or something for a specific niche, you're going to make some money. So here's some examples of what I mean by scalability. So one of the things that you can target people by on Facebook is their job title. This is one of the campaigns that we actually ran that I remember selling really well. But Facebook came out with the job title targeting. We found a list of like 2,000 jobs, and then we just posted them in there, changed operations manager to pilot or lawyer or whatever it is, and just threw up as many campaigns as we could, targeted those specific job titles, and made some money. But there's ways to spin it. So if you, let's say, job title plus holiday, I remember seeing some that were like, this is my scary operations manager costume. So it was a Halloween-based job title. Job title plus relationship. I'm dating a sexy operations manager, and yes, he bought me this shirt, or something like that. Something funny that a guy would buy for his girlfriend. And you could just Google a list of job titles. I mean, that's another thing that you guys can use a lot is Google to find stuff to target on Facebook. So here's another one, birth signs. Everybody has a birth sign, right? So I like this one. I like to show this one because it's got a little bit more of a design aspect to it. It says, I'm a Libra woman. I was born with my heart on my sleeve, a fire in my soul, and a mouth I can't control. okay? So what they do is they would take that, birth sign or whatever, they switch it out, maybe change the phrase a little bit. Now you've got 20 or 30 shirts, right? Same thing, birth sign plus gender. I'm married to a sexy Libra. I'm sorry. I'm a Libra man or whatever. I'm a Libra woman. I'm married to a sexy Libra woman or whatever it is. This one is actually one of the ones that we created that really made us a lot of money, and it was targeting people by how old they were. It seems pretty simple, right? It wasn't done at the time, but on Facebook you can target people by how old they are, right? So at the time, I think 1964 was the first one we ever did. I was 40 years old at the time, so it was kind of like one of those milestone ages. So we figured, that's probably the one that would do it. We designed this to look like it was a wine bottle sticker. So vintage 1964, aged to perfection. It has the targeting down, has the comedy aspect to it, has like the self-deprecating humor type of stuff, and it sold really well. It was the birth year. You can do, birth year plus gender again with the mashups and stuff like that. Age plus hobby could be, don't, for example, like don't underestimate a grandfather with a motorcycle or something like that. So you can mash up these interests and use Facebook to target people based on those two things. This shirt made us $2 million. So that was a big one for us. So this is something that I still jump on, and I know that you guys probably can figure this stuff out. I'm going to show you some examples, but just think about like how many things go viral nowadays. If you understand Facebook marketing and you see something happen, you can move really fast. And using our site or whatever it is, you can market to that specific group. And I'll show you some examples. But this is something I still do if I think the timing is right. You got to be first to market on this or close to first to market. You have to have a compelling design, things like that. So you got to think about how often things go viral. It's almost a surefire way to make money. I mean, almost every time that I see something like this and I put up a shirt, I'm making a little bit of money. It might not be a home run or it might not be as big as I thought it was going to be, but I'm usually making money. It's the percentage of wins versus losses in this category are a lot higher in the win category. Something I still jump on today, and being first to market is key. So this is the first time that it really dawned on me there was a lot of money to be made like this. So this was my aha moment.
Let's send you down to the field and Aaron Andrews.
Joe, thank you so much. Richard, let me ask you the final play. Take me through it.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to shut it for you real quick. L.O.B.
All right, and Joe, back over to you.
All right, well, we saw.
And Joe, back over to you. I remember being at her dad's house and dying laughing that I just saw that on live TV. I couldn't believe this guy went nuts like that. I knew people were going to be talking about it. I knew it was going to go viral. So I made a shirt. Don't you ever talk about me. I launched the campaign an hour after their shirt or the game was over, so it was like perfect timing. Didn't really have to target, really deep into this one. It was just, fans of the team or Richard Sherman himself. Sold 1,400 shirts in 3 days. $30,000 profit, or $25,000, whatever it was. But at that time, that was a lot of money to me. Remember, I was still living at her dad's house and subsequently got to move out of her dad's house. So here's another example of a viral trend that people jumped on that I was kind of surprised by. So Pi Day's annual celebration of the mathematical constant of 3.14. And in 2015, that was an actual day. I didn't know this. I didn't know it until we started seeing the numbers really start to crush. But apparently there's a lot of math geeks out there that were waiting for this day. And I saw dozens of people with different designs for this specific niche. There was whole courses on how they figured out how to target people for this niche. I saw over 100,000 sales on this specific design. There's about $1 million profit or more. If you think about $10 a shirt, it probably was more than $1 million, but because they're selling other types of products. But that's kind of like one of the bigger scaled viral trends that was caught perfectly. I really like this one, and I show this one a lot. There's Back to the Future Day. So in the second movie, Marty comes back on October 21st, 2015. I didn't know that, but somebody was there when it happened originally and thought to make a shirt that says, I was there at the start, May 25th, 1977, specifically for that day, so that people could buy the shirt and wear it on October 21st, 2015. 5,000 sales. Very, very easy stuff here. Who knows this guy? All right, everybody knows who Harambe is. Dicks out for Harambe. Huge trend, okay? If you were one of the first people to jump on that trend, made a funny shirt, whatever, figured out the way to target it, 10,000 sales. People are making $100,000 off this gorilla. It's fucked up. Here's another easy one, Trump and Hillary. How many people, Hillary for prison, proud deplorable, I mean, dude, funny stuff. 15,000 sales. People are making $150,000 on the presidential election. There's probably a lot more than just those two, but those are the ones that I saw. I mean, I've seen entire sites being built on the election stuff. So that was over. So one of the things that we're doing at Viral Style is to go beyond t-shirts. So we know that there's only enough people that can buy t-shirts, but if you have a way to spin the same design, you can put it on other products. So we offer things like mugs, hats, clocks, things like that, where you can create the same design but put it on a different product, send it to the same list, and you're just milking money out of these people. Enough people are passionate about something, they'll buy multiple products. So sublimation is a type of print where you can put on coffee mugs and cell phone cases and create custom clocks and stuff like that. Embroideries, hats, and we offer winter hats and like beanies and things like that as well. So the Viral Style Academy is something that we created to kind of help people that don't know anything about internet marketing. So let's say you saw a t-shirt that you thought was funny, you came to our site and you're like, oh, I could get into this. We created the Viral Style Academy so that you could learn how to create designs, how to advertise, how to figure out your target audience and things like that. And it's actually taught by one of our top sellers of all time. His name's Luke Stassi, and he's done over $1 million on our site himself. And he teaches you exactly how he does it, how he goes through the processes of making each decision. It's all free, obviously. You just imagine like what kind of money. I'm showing you like really simple ideas here. If you're fast enough, you can think of something funny enough, you think about a way to do it and launch it. If you know how to do that, how much money you're going to make, what's going to make it easier for you to buy that next drink or whatever it is you guys do. Pay off your student loans. I don't know how many of you guys have student loans, but I assume you guys do. Pay those off. Just doing some simple like learning how to advertise. That's pretty much all I got for you guys. Let's keep in touch. If you guys want to sign up for Viral Style, obviously you can go to viralstyle.com, sign up for free. We have our seller support group. It's Viral Style Power Sellers is what we call it. It's where we do all of our updates, and a lot of our top sellers are in there as well. You can add me on Facebook if you'd like. Thank you very much. We can open up for questions if you guys got anything. Thanks.
So I just want to remind everybody that's watching us virtually, you can live tweet any questions to #CEOLive. But we're going to go ahead and take some questions from the audience, but I do need you to step forward to ask your questions. So opening the floor. I know, Joe, you had some questions, and you as well. You can come up front.
go.
And speak into the microphone so everybody.
Sure. So my question for you was, I've been an affiliate marketer for a while, and I was actually just outside studying and heard the presentation. And my question for you is, I was going to get into Amway. I'm sure you might have heard of it.
Yeah.
And the one thing I wanted to know is, let's say, I make a t-shirt or something like that, sell through you guys. You're making money, I'm making money.
Sure.
But let's say I have 10 friends, and I want to sign them up for this as well, and they sell $100,000 in product. Is there any way that I could get a portion of their sales as well?
Yeah, so we have an affiliate program.
Okay.
It's a referral program. Anybody that signs up through your link, you would get 50 cents of every product that they sell.
Okay.
So that's a lot of. We've got a couple of big referral guys on our site that are making, $10,000, $20,000 a month without even doing anything, just because of how many people they've referred to us.
Sure. All right. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Anybody? Joe, you had a question? Just make sure you speak into the show so they can hear you.
How you doing, guys? Well, first of all, great presentation. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
So my question basically was, starting off, how did you have enough people on the site to have a substantial amount of products to keep gaining people to come and buy them and then be interested in also creating designs as well?
So as far as like how do we get our user base?
Yeah,
originally?
Facebook advertising.
So we were actually in the industry prior to creating Viral Style. We had created it for ourselves. We were making t-shirts the way we did, and then we broke off to create Viral Style for everybody else. And by that time, we already had kind of a name for ourselves in the industry. So when we were creating it, we had a pretty big buzz marketing campaign. We were like, well, we're about to come out with this awesome software that's going to make it a lot easier for you guys. You can make more money. We'll have all the advanced marketing features that you want, like upsells and coupon codes. And it was kind of an affiliate marketing type of situation where we knew enough people that were already in the industry that they were willing to shell out money to actually get on board with us. Originally, when we launched the site, we actually had people pay us to sell for us. So it was a pretty cool time. But yeah, we were already in the industry, so we kind of knew what people needed.
Yep.
But that's kind of how we started. Yeah.
And then while I'm up here, I just got
Sure.
a couple more. Just rattle them off.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But do you do any advertising internationally? Because I could see why this would be beneficial
so-
for people with how strong like the USD is now and everything.
Yeah, so we have a lot of international sellers as well, but we've sold to over 170 countries. So pretty much anybody that you can target on Facebook can buy a shirt. We have international shipping rates that are really competitive, and like I said, all of our sales pages are made for conversion. So if you have something that invokes enough emotion or makes them laugh or whatever it is, they'll pull out their money and buy it. I mean, they're willing to wait for it too.
Okay, and then lastly, I briefly looked at the website before this, tried a little
Sure.
something, and you have the countdown clocks.
Sure.
Is that for shipping as well, so the order doesn't get processed until then, or is that when it's like off?
No, so that is one of the tools that we use for urgency, sense of urgency.
Yeah,
So people come to the sales page, they'll see a countdown timer, and it's a limited. You're calling it a limited edition product. So they'll see the ad, they click on it, they like it enough, they go look at the sales page, and they see this countdown timer. It says there's 3 days, 12 hours, and 36 minutes left to buy this shirt. And then you hit them with a retargeting ad later that says, it's your last chance to go get it. And they come there, and it kind of helps push them to, pull out their wallets and purchase the product.
So that's not for all shirts, though. That's just for certain ones you select. Or
No, that's all products.
Oh,
Every sales page has that, and you set the time limit. So when you launch the product, it's either you set it to be like a 3-day or 7-day campaign. That's what the timer is. It's when the end of that campaign, when that timer is ended, the campaign ends, and we batch out all the orders at once, and then it just relaunches back to the timer starts over.
Okay, and then do you have, so like I get that you send the whole batch at once, like after, but do you have like a minimum, like what if you sell one shirt?
No, there's no print minimums. So you can sell one shirt. We have
That's because you have a good relationship with the screen printers or whoever.
right. So we
nowadays.
have our own print shop here, actually, off of Rome. it's right around the corner from here, and then our office is right across the water here. But
Is that Hitmaster?
Hitmaster, yeah.
That's where we get our hats embroidered.
Yeah. So that we own half of that, but there is no print minimums. We've kind of made our margins on that. Obviously, it's more expensive to direct. It's called direct-to-garment printing when it's a low quantity like that. So it's like a big, this huge room-sized inkjet printer that prints out on the shirts. It's a little bit more expensive to do one. So the more you sell, obviously, the cheaper it is to manufacture it, and the more money you'll make.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Any other questions from the audience? Well, I have one, and this is to speak to all of the members for CEO. A large majority of our chapters feature early stage ventures and early stage collegiate entrepreneurs. I would consider them very early stage dreamers, and they have products, they have ideas. Can you speak a little bit to the production process and how one might go and find some sort of production developer? And then also how important it is to not only engage your organic network on social media, but also engage with social media marketing, Google marketing, along those lines?
So as far as the manufacturing, you mean how do we find our printers?
Well, for printers, or have you had any experience in producing any other product other than shirts?
No, it's been strictly this.
Okay.
And when we started, we actually kind of knew where we needed to be as far as the pricing.
Right.
And we just went out and cold called as many printers as we could to find printers that were willing to do our pricing. And that was one thing we weren't going to budge on either, because we knew exactly where we needed to be. And then we test them out with smaller order batches and see if they can actually handle our fulfillment flow and things like that.
So when you were launching this and when you had your kind of idea in your mind, were you afraid to share this idea with anybody, or?
No, the overall concept seems simple, but the barrier to entry is a little bit harder. If you know enough about marketing and stuff like that, you could probably build something for yourself. But to get enough people on board where it actually makes sense to run a viable business, we weren't really too worried about that.
Okay. And then back to the organic network, how quickly did your organic network dry up, and when did you start investing in?
As far as acquisition?
Well, yeah, and paid advertisements
users
and stuff. Yeah.
So it's still kind of organic at this point. I mean, we've kind of started recently this year to test some acquisition strategies on how to get our name out there as a way to make money online. But the industry itself of like CPA marketing or internet marketing in general had enough people in it that found out about T-shirts, that were interested in how to sell T-shirts, and then there was like a land grab for as many users as you could during that time. But recently we've started to try and expand that into to try and figure out how to take somebody that knows nothing about internet marketing and then teach them the steps to become successful, and that's something we're still figuring out.
Excellent. Thank you, Tom.
Yep.
Any other questions? Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody in the audience, in the live audience, and I want to thank all of our CEO members that tuned in today, all of the Future Founder members, and all of the Self-Employment in the Arts members. CEO, SCA, and Future Founders are excited that you joined us. We're really happy that we were able to put this off, and we are going to host this once a month, and it will be available to all of our members and non-members in the 3 organizations. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Tom,
Thank you.
Please join me in thanking Tom. Awesome. Well, that concludes our live stream, and thank you for joining us.